morning, class. I am your professor as of today, and before we proceed to our discussion, can I call the president to at least lead a prayer? And after that, we will be checking attendance. So for today's discussion, we will be talking about the sensory imagery. Well, I have a question. Do you all have an idea on what is sensory imagery is? Well, if none, I will give you a brief description about it. Well, sensory imagery is a literary device. Sensory imagery is a literary device that writers employs reader's mind into multiple levels. So sensory imagery, we're talking about and exploring about our five senses, the five human senses, which are the sense of sight, the sense of smell, the sense of touch, the sense of hearing, and the sense of taste. So sensory imagery has five kinds. So the first kind of sensory imagery is the visual imagery. Root word itself, the visual. When we say the visual, it is pertaining about our vision. So automatically, when we say vision, it emphasizes about our sense of sight. So visual imagery focuses on the physical attributes of a person, object, and place. It includes the color, the size, shape, lightness or darkness, shade or hue, and pattern. So, when you read the literary text that you are reading, if you observe the color, if you see the size or any other kind of data, so automatically it will pertain into your sense of sight, which is the visual imagery. Yes. So the next one is the auditory imagery. When we say auditory imagery, it is talking about the audio. When we say the audio, it will talk about the sounds. So if you notice the sound in the literary text that you are reading, it will easily identify as the sense of hearing. So auditory imagery, it is a form of mental imagery that is used to organize and analyze sounds. Yes. When there is no external auditory stimulus present. So, this form of imagery is broken up into a couple of auditory modalities. Yes. Such as the verbal imagery and the musical imagery. If you read something about the literary text that has a sound like the dog's bark, the tweet of the bird, yes, that is automatically the auditory imagery. So the next one is the olfactory imagery. It is a description that stimulates the nose by describing the scents, flavors, and odors. Class, it is not a color, it's actually odor. It's my typographical error. Well, when you are reading the literary text, if you read something about the scents, parang yung feeling yung naaamoy nyo sa literary text na binabasa nyo. Yung parang, yung odor, like ganyan. That is, emphasizes about the olfactory imagery. Because olfactory imagery talks about our sense of smell. Diba? The word odor, body odor, you can smell that. So, it will appear in your sense of smell. So the next one is the gustatory imagery. It is a form of poetic imagery. It describes the author's sense of taste. When we say sense of taste, class, it will emphasizes about the sweetness, sourness, bitterness, and saltiness. So if you read something about that, like yung mga panlasa, like parang na-feel nyo, like nagbabasa kayo, tapos na-feel nyo, nalasahan nyo yung phrase na yon or something nag-trigger sa utak nyo na parang nalalasahan nyo yung binabasa nyo, that will emphasize and that will appear into gustatory imagery. Because gustatory imagery is talking about the sense of taste, as you can see. And the last one is the tactile imagery. when we say tactile imagery, it is used to describe something by focusing on aspects that can be felt or touched, as well as the temperature. You know, this tactile imagery is pertaining about our sense of touch. And like other imagery devices, it is hugely significant in descriptive writing. So that is our 5 sensory imagery. The visual imagery, that is pertaining into our sense of sight. The auditory imagery, that appears to our sense of hearing. And the olfactory imagery, that appeals to our sense of smell. And the gustatory imagery, that appears into our sense of taste. And the tactile imagery, that appeals to our sense of touch. So, any clarifications and questions? If none, we will proceed into our activity. So, our activity is choose a pair and create a short story that using the sensory images, and you can do it in 15 minutes, and after that you will narrate it or you will read it in front of the class. Is that okay, class?